honestly. Steve Nash, I can kind of go for 2 MVPs in the era that he played in. I can kind of go for that, but no rings. Also, kind of made me want to throw him in the tier just below. So it's debatable, but I ain't
Yeah, I
mad
think
at it.
I think that's the thing for me too is that I kind of excluded rings from the conversation. I mean, it matters,
It
but I
definitely
don't put
matters.
as much weight into it because you look at somebody like you said with KG versus Tim Duncan. It's like, well, 1 to 5, he's obviously better, but like, come on, bro, like strip that away. Who are you picking? You're drafting a team and you're building around this guy. You start at the 4 position. Who you picking? It's not that blowout conversation that we're having. So I don't think Nash. The reason why Nash in the second tier because I think once again you remove the ring conversation away from this. He's probably a top 5 point guard. And I got somebody else like you gonna talk about current players. I'll probably throw Chris Paul in this conversation of like he'll be a legend for me. I think he'll be in this fit for me of like oh he can really like if you swap the ring conversation around like give Chris Paul Curry's rings, people look at him totally differently. So
Oh
why
well,
is the
yeah.
rings? See what I mean? That's why the rings matter that much. So I try to strip the ring conversation out of this and look at them as a player, what they did, and so on and so forth. So that's somebody I would throw in this conversation of current players. But um, I would
So I
a AI
go.
and Tim, I mean, AI and Dirk are the ones we can have a conversation around. I don't feel like we can talk about the other people in my opinion.
Yeah, I can go for that a little bit. I would say, I can't discredit rings though, not too much. I get what you're saying. It's a team accomplishment. Obviously, you need a team. It's not an individual thing. But the thing is, we play to win the game. So that's the ultimate goal. We play to win. Who contributed most to winning? And the guys who won championships obviously contributed a great deal. The ones who were the guys who were the guys obviously
Mm-hmm.
contributed a great deal. It's a reason certain guys won multiple championships because everybody didn't. Everybody ain't got more than one. Some folks ain't got none. So it's a reason certain guys win multiple. Obviously, like I said, I'm not unaware of the fact you got to have a good team. Your management got to keep a good team. They got to keep the core together. What the Warriors did for Steph, everybody didn't get that. Everybody didn't get Klay Thompson and Draymond to stick around for their whole career. Some like case in point, Russ, KD, and James Harden. Management
Mm-hmm.
said we can't afford to keep all of y'all. They decided to keep Serge Ibaka instead of James because they already got Russ and KD. They don't think they need another guard, especially one that scores, another scoring guard. They let James walk. Had they kept James instead of Serge, who knows? But they let James walk. That's 3 MVPs. Everybody don't get the Warriors treatment. You know what I mean? So I understand that. But it's a reason certain guys got more than one or winning consistently. And it's a reason certain guys won and then they stopped winning. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I can't discredit rings. You know what I mean? It means something. We play to win the game at the end of the day. I as a player who ain't won a championship on no level, we play to win the game.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not gonna discredit that. But
I'm not saying it's irrelevant, but I'm saying it's like it's hard to have this conversation for it's hard for me to have a individual conversation but weigh so heavily on a team thing because like you said, like I keep pointing these players up because it just fits the conversation the best. It's like Tim Duncan versus KG. KG had no consistent coach. I don't think he had any consistent teammates when he was in Minnesota. But if you flip him and get him, let's say you throw him who was a stable coach back in the day besides Pop? Like you put him
Rivers,
before
Pat
that time.
Riley.
You throw him with Pat Riley. You trying to tell me he don't still win them rings away? You put him with Phil Jackson. He's probably the other tier. Like you put him with Phil Jackson. You trying to tell me he don't win more rings in
Of
that
course.
era? So that's what I'm saying. Like you can't sit here and strip that. You can't strip KG down so far when his system around him every year is so different from what Tim Duncan had. So we looking at player for player who did what in these moments and changed the game and had these other accolades like throwing them. I can't weigh rings as heavy because now it's talking about Hall of Fame of what you did. Not the Hall of Fame, what your team did with you. I'm talking about what you did as a player. So that's where I'll categorize him a little bit differently, or somebody like a Steve Nash a little bit different, somebody like a Chris Paul a little bit differently. Because like you said, obviously, if you put Chris Paul with a bet, and you got to think about young Chris Paul too. He was with the Hornets, could have won an MVP. Gave the Spurs a run for their money when that was like prime Tim Duncan in them too. LeBron got swept by that team that he almost beat by himself. Think about it like that. So that says something. And then you think about LA Chris Paul. This man ruined the league. And he didn't even do anything. Everybody's doing finna throw a fit if he played with Kobe. Everybody, man, get him off. David Stern said, "No, sir, we are not doing that. Stay your butt over there. We not doing that, bro." So that's a level of respect that Chris Paul had to the league, and he wasn't even like fully Chris Paul yet. So that's what somebody is like. Okay, you can really hoop and you can really ball out, but because you don't have rings, I can't say player for player you're not as great as this other player over here. Like him and Curry can honestly go head to head for who's the better player. Now, if we strip rings away, I'll say that. Now, impact and stuff, Curry's better. Like, we're not going to sit here and debate about that. He's left a bigger impact on the game. But you can't tell me a Chris Paul with let's say 2 rings, maybe 3. We look at him totally different than we do right now. Totally different. But all that changed was he finally got over that last hurdle of winning the ring. But who was to say if he went with Kobe, he would have won them too? Who was to say if he would have moved early to a different team or the Hornets did a better job of managing the team, we got another ring in sooner? That's where it's like, I got to put more respect on KJ. Got to put more respect on Chris Paul versus just the ring conversation taking over their career. It's like, well, he only won 1, so I'm putting him in this tier. Oh, he didn't win any, so he's trash. Like, come on, bro. He can hoop. Like, don't do that with me. So that's where it's like, I can't put as much on rings as most people do.
I totally understand that. So, and this is the last thing I say, and then we can move on. But all the thing is, this is something I look at that where it helps me increase the weight of rings. When you look at the guys in the top tier, in the upper echelon, what is the difference between them and the next guys? Longevity of winning. And things change over time. Now, some of them, like Mike, still got Scotty. Obviously, still had Clay and Draymond. Like, they kept the nucleus of what wins. But when I look at Mike in the league for several years, everybody already know how dominant he is. They talking about him. They already know how good he is. He finally gets Scottie Pippen and those guys. They get over the hump. 3 straight championships. Then Mike leaves, comes back, 3 more. The team's slightly different now. Scottie's still there, obviously. The team different, though. But 3 more championships. I look at Cole. Cole play with Shaq out the gate. He come up, 3 championships with Shaq. Obviously, he ain't the best player. I get that. Shaq leaves. It's Kobe's team. Shaq left in 2005. And Cole is Cole's team. Now, granted, they went through some rough years. But Cole was dominant. And we know. We looking at Cole like he the best player in the world. We remember. Cole tearing the league up in that point in time. Until he get the help. He get Powell. He get Derek Fisher. Get those guys. They win 2 more rings back to back. Things change. I look at Magic. Magic coming to the league. He got Kareem. They win the championship his rookie year. Out the gate.
Mm-hmm.
And he go with Kareem, he keep winning. Kareem retires. He's still winning. People don't realize that all of Magic's championships was not with Kareem. He still win. Things change. Bron, 3 championships, they won championships for 3 different franchises. You get what I'm saying? Steph, Draymond and them ain't Draymond old. You know what I'm saying? Clay is still Clay. But their first championship was 2015. The last one was in 2021, if I'm not mistaken, or 2022. It was 22 because the Bucks won in 21. So you talking about 2015, won 1, lost in 2016. KD come, win 17-18. KD leave. 2019, Steph hurt, 2020, they didn't make the playoffs. They in the bubble. 2021, they lose. 2022, Steph with Clay and Draymond still there. Draymond ain't as good as he used to be. With Wiggins, Poole, these the new key players. They win another one. Things change. You deal what I'm saying? And so I just cannot discredit that because everybody cannot do that. Everybody cannot do that. Chris had Blake, had DeAndre Jordan, had Jamal Crawford, 6th man of the year, had JJ Redick, one of the best shooters of all time. Things ain't go right. Does that mean he ain't no great player? No. But some guys made it happen. Others didn't. It just works out that way. Of course, CP got injuries and stuff. That happened a lot of times in the playoffs, but doggone it, man. The best ability is availability. I cannot sit here and say, I still think he's better than him. If you ain't getting the job done consistently, I don't know. I'm glad Chris did go to the finals with the Suns, though, that one year in 2021. And I wouldn't have been mad if they won the championship, but I am happy that my boy Giannis did win it, though, obviously. But some guys get it done, some guys don't. That's just what it is. That's just what it is. KD played with the Warriors, got him 2 rings, ain't been back to the finals since. Was he close with the Nets? Yes. But he done had some good teams. It just hadn't gotten back, man. Some guys get it done, some guys don't. That's not to say they're not good, they're not great. They just didn't get it the ultimate job done. So I feel as though the guys who get it done should be respected a little bit more. The guys who couldn't, obviously, I'm going to look at your situation. I ain't just going to say, oh, well, talent-wise, he better. There's something he didn't do. It's still a team sport, obviously. But something could have been done, obviously, to get them over the top. You deal what I'm saying? I think that Tim could be in that change the game era because of his longevity of winning. Things change with Tim. You come in, you got David Robinson. Then you get Tony Parker. Then Manu Ginobili, Kawhi Leonard. He could have been in there with his longevity of winning. But only reason I keep him in the all-time greats thing is because his individual accolades. He only got 1 MVP. I think he got 1 DPOY. Obviously, he got a lot of all-NBAs, all defensive teams. One of the best players of all time. Obviously, I just keep him in that all-time great situation because of that, mainly. But the longevity of winning, man, things change over time. If we still winning because of you the only constant, that's speaking about something. That says something, in my humble opinion.
For the sake of this episode and moving on to it, because I still disagree. So for the sake of this episode, we're gonna move on to the next tier. So
okay, brother, I understand. We might have to have a whole nother episode about that.
All right, what's your third tier looking like, man?
All right, this is